Hey guys, this is E with Scrapbooking with Me, and it seems that I confused a lot of people on how to cut and fold your file folder for the Cascading file folder mini album. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you how to use file folders to cut and fold, and then I'm going to show you how to use cardstock to cut and fold. So I'm going to do this step by step, and hopefully this will clear everything up. I do apologize for yesterday's video. I have checked my sound 3 or 4 times today. So hopefully my sound is recording today. I hope so. I do not like doing voiceovers. To me, it's real impersonal. That's just my taste. I know I watch a lot of people who do voiceovers and they're fine, but to me, I like doing the real thing. I feel like I'm talking to you guys. When I do a voiceover, I don't feel that way, so... Anyway, so what I did first is all I did was cut that part right here. All of this, the uneven part, you're going to cut that off of your file folder. So just cut down to that little place right there so that this will be a straight line across here. Okay, so that's what you're going to do on your file folders first. Now, don't worry about that little edge right there. Just leave that on. That's not going to hurt a thing. So you chop that off first, make your end of your file folder even. Then we're going to cut this down to 7 1/4 tall. So you're going to turn your file folder. Okay, there's my opening. I'm turning my file folder this way, and I'm going to cut it at 7 1/4, just like that. So this part is the part that you're saving for your little journal tags and that kind of thing. Hadn't I got some weird looking file folders? I'm telling you, I don't know when I bought these, but I must have been temporarily out of my mind. So there's that one. That's how it's going to look right there. This way, whoops, lengthwise it is. And like I said, again, yours don't have to be exactly like mine. If yours is a little bit shorter, just kind of go with it. This is 8 1/4 wide, and it is 7 1/4 tall. So I'm going to write that down so that I will make sure 8 1/4 by 7 1/4, and I think that's what I put in the measurements. So I'm going to go ahead and cut my other 3 down so that we can do all of our folding, and then I will show you exactly how they're folded. That is all you're cutting on those, and you're only going to need 4. So I had a lot of people who asked me, how many do I need? You just need 4. Okay. Now what you're going to do is take these, open them up, and you're going to insert one inside the other. So just going to open them up, put one right inside the other, just like that. There we go. So then you've got, I'm just going to stagger them so you can see. Then you've got all 4 of your file folders, put one inside the other. Now this back one right here is going to be your bottom one. That's going to be this piece right here, that back page. So we don't want to fold that one here at all. Okay, then this second one is supposed to only have 1 inch folded over right here. So what I'm going to do is grab my scoreboard. That's the easiest way for me to get it straight. I'm going to put my fold right here up in that. And then I'm just going to, that's 8 1/4, so I'm going to come back to 7 1/4, and I'm going to run a line down through there. Just like that. And fold that over. So that's our little inch on our second page. So see, there's our first page. There's our second page. And now we're ready for the third page. This is what I'm calling my third page. There's first page, second page, third page. You're going to fold this one right here 1 3/4. So again, you're going to put it in your scoreboard with that fold up against the edge. And then you're going to, all right, there's 1 And there would be 3/4. 6 1/2 would be your 1 3/4. I'm gonna make sure of that. Yes, 6 1/2. Okay, then we're gonna fold that over. These file folders are so old, they're cracking right there, so no problem though. All right, so we've got, and I'm gonna stick it back together so you can see. All right, now don't worry about this right now because we're gonna do some scoring in here and scoring over here, so we're gonna adjust everything, so don't even be concerned with that. Then this top one, or the middle, the inside one, 2 1/4 from the right hand side. And I'm looking at my measurements right now on my phone. I've got my measurements pulled up. So 2 1/4 from the right hand side. So there's 1, 2 1/4 would be 6. And I keep losing my scoring tool. All right. So I'm going to do that again. 1, 2 1/4. That would be at 6. So we've got that one folded over. So this is what we're looking like right now. See, they don't look like they're going to be cascading, do they? But now we've got to come over here and do some folding on this side. All right, so here's your first one. And I put number 1 on mine, so I know that's my very bottom page, or you could put bottom. Okay, you're going to score at 2 at 4 1/2, and then you're just going to leave that little score line. I don't know if your score line is in like mine because all the file folders are different. These are some old ones, and they're probably not scored like everybody else's. So just go over to the 8 1/4 line. That's that little score line there. Or if you don't have a score line there, just mark it at 8 1/4. So you're going to score at 2, 4 1/2, and 8 1/4. Now I think I might have put 8 1/2 on the instructions. If I did, I'm sorry. I'm going to go back and change that. I apologize if anybody has messed up some things. But even if you scored a little bit off, you can rescore. Because see, mine's got different score lines in them all over. Because you're going to cover all this with paper. So don't throw those away if you scored them a little bit off. Just rescore it. And then all this is going to be covered with paper anyway. So you're not going to have to worry about those extra score lines. Okay, right now I'm just going to tell you how to fold and score these. Later on, we will name them or number them or whatever. But right now, I'll just tell you on your file folders where to score. So on this one, it needs to fold over like that. So we're going to score at, and I'm going to make sure, at 4 inches right there. So score at 4, and then at 8 1/4. That is the score line that's already in mine. If it's not in yours, then just make sure that you put that in. Okay, so on this one, you're going to score at 3 1/2 right there. And then we're going to leave that score line at 8 1/4. That's where mine is. If you don't have a score line at 8 1/4, then put one in there. And then this one is the one that was scored in from this side, 1 3/4 in from the right hand side. Okay, so there's that one. And then this is your other one. Okay, and then this is the last one. This is scored at 2 7/8. This right here, 2 7/8. And then I left mine at 8 1/4. If you don't have an 8 1/4 score line, score it at 8 1/4. And then on the right hand side, we came in 2 1/4 inches and made a score line there. Now let's put these together and see how they work. All right, we know we want that one down first. And then that one would be our second one because it's got the smallest score line over here. Then you take your next one that has the smallest score line over here. Put that one in. And then you take your last one, which has that 2 1/4 score line there, and you're going to slide that one in the middle right there. So that is, and press them all together. That is your little cascading part. Now this part I did fold up on mine just about 1/2 of an inch because I didn't like that long piece hanging out there. if you want to just trim it off, you can do that too. I just folded mine up so it'd be a little stronger. So I put a 1/2 inch score line down through there and just folded it. Let's just go ahead and do that. And then I'm going to go over all of those score lines again with you. That looks about a 1/2 inch right there. And then I just folded that up. And it just, I don't know, it made it a little bit stronger. Plus it made it kind of more even with the other little cascading. And you can see mine are not perfect. Some of mine are wider than others. That doesn't matter. Because if you're going to put trim and laces and things on it anyway, it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter at all. They don't have to be perfect. Okay. All right. So there is that. Now, let's go back and just do a complete recap on this. All right. I'm going to take them out. This is what we're going to call number 1. Number 1 is scored at 2, 4 1/2, and then 8 1/4. And then I just scored a little 1/2 inch over here on mine. Wait about scoring this on yours until you see if yours is going to be a little bit long. If not, then just leave it like it is. So 2, 4 1/2, 8 1/4. And if you've scored it different already, don't worry about it. Just go ahead and put it together. It'll be fine. You're going to cover it with paper, I promise. I scored my first ones probably 5 different ways before I actually got it like I wanted it. Okay, then this one is, we're going to call it, we're going to call this one number 2. I think I slid that out of the right place. Let me look. Yes. Okay, this one we're calling number 2. We're scoring it at 4 inches. And then at 8 1/4. Or if you already have a line there, you don't have to score. And then over here, we've got 1 inch. Okay, we're going to slide that one in there. Then this one, we're going to call number 3. You're going to score at 3 1/2 and 8 1/4. And then over here, you've got 1 3/4 inch in. Okay, we're going to slide this one in there. Always slide them to the inside. Then this one we're calling number 4. That's our last one. You're going to score at 2 7/8 and 8 1/4. And then on this side, I come in 2 1/4 inches. And then again, we're sliding this one all the way to the inside like that. And there is our little cascading from the file folder. Okay, now I'm going to go back and make sure that all of my measurements are written down correct. I may have written something down a little bit wrong. Like I said, if you have already scored yours like I wrote down, don't worry about it. If you haven't covered it with paper and you want to rescore it. If you've already covered it with paper, don't worry about it. It will all work out, I promise, in the end. If you put a little lace or something on the end of yours, see, you can't even tell where mine stop and start. So just go ahead and use your file folders that you have, okay? All right, like I said, I will put all of these measurements over on the blog. I'll probably even take some photos of this and put it over there too so that you can see. It'll be a visual for you. So I'm going to lay that aside. Now for the cardstock. What you need to do on the cardstock, the first thing you need to do is cut all your cardstock down to 7 1/4. Because it's going to need to be the same height as the other, as the file folders. So cut it down to 7 1/4 right there. Save this piece. You can make journaling tags and things like that on it, or you can make your little tabs for the end. So I'm going to cut them all down to 7 1/4. All right, now pull my file folder back out to show you how we're going to do on these. These are just 12 inches. You don't have the same length as you do on your file folders, but with the file folder folded up, it is, there we go, put that right there, and then you've got 12 inches right there. So on your first one, your first sheet, you're going to score it at 3 3/4. down through there. Okay, that gets that. And we'll wait about this end before we do anything. And that's going to be this one right here. You can see it fits in there perfectly. So that's our first one. Then on the second one, and I'm just going to pull out my file folders and show you how we're going to do this. On the second one, we're going to put it up in there. And then I'm just going to mark the spot, but it's going to be at 4 1/4 is where we're going to score. 4 1/4. So score at 4 1/4. And then on this end, we're going to go ahead and mark at 11 1/2 because that's where that's folded over. So we know that we need to put our little pocket on there at 11 1/2. So I'm just marking it. I'll just go down through there and score it as I mark like that. I know that's where I need to fold that one over. Okay. So we've got that fold there. That slides in and it matches up with that one. And then you can see on this end, I've got that much extra. So if I attach my pocket right there, then I know that I'm going to have the same width on my file folder and my cardstock. Okay, so score it at 4 1/4 and then mark it at 11 1/2. Or you can go ahead and score and just fold it up like that. That's where we're going to attach our other little pocket. 4 1/4, 11 1/2. Okay, that's the second one. I'm just sliding these together like this so to make it a little bit easier. Okay, then for the third one, I'm just going to pull out my file folder number 3. And I'm going to lay it up on here. And I'm going to score it at 4 3/4. And then I'm going to come down to make sure I got it even here. I'm going to come down to 11 1/4. And I'm going to score it there. So we're going to score at 4 3/4 and then 11 1/4. We're going to fold that up. And then if we look at this, our file folder and our piece of cardstock is the same, or very, very close. It may be a fraction of an inch difference, but that's not going to matter. All right, then on this one, you're going to score. And see, this one falls between the score lines, so that's why I said you may be a fraction of an inch one way or the other, but it doesn't matter. This one, we're going to score it at 5 3/8. That's going to be closest to our score line that we needed. So 5 3/8. Then we're going to go down to this end and we're going to score it again. Let's see. Let me make sure I got this even. We're going to score it at 11 1/4. Okay. So that's scored at 5 3/8 and 11 1/4. Okay, fold that over. Fold that up. And if we fold that up, then you see I've got just that fraction of an inch right there, which does not matter. That's the difference in my file folder and that. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Okay, that's that one. All right, now we're going to bring all these back down and put them together and see what we've got. We know this is our back one because it has no score over here. And then this is our second one because we've got that little score line over here. And you can just kind of put them together and look at this and you'll know which is first and second. just by looking at your cascading part. And then this one would be our next one, I'm thinking. Slide it in there, and that looks pretty good. This one would be the next one. So see, if you slide them in there, you can see that that looks pretty good. Now don't worry about this side over here. This is where we're going to add pockets, and we're going to add pockets over here. So as long as that looks like that, that's what you want right there. Now I'm going to go over those score lines one more time, and then I'm also going to put them on my blog so that you will know exactly what the score lines are on your cardstock. All right, your first one is scored at 3 3/4, and that's all. Then you're going to leave that. Your second one, and we're going to put right number 1 on this. The second one is scored at, I have to get up here where I can see the score line. It's scored at 4 1/4, and then on this end, this inch on this end, we scored it at 11 1/2. So 4 1/4 and 11 1/2, and this is number 2. Okay. Then on this one, we scored at 4 3/4. Oops. This is number 3. And then on this end, we scored it at 11 1/4. So 4 3/4, 11 1/4. Then on this one, we scored at, and let me mark my line so I can see, we scored at 5 3/8. This is number 4. And then on this end, we scored at 11 1/4. Okay, so 5 3/8, 11 1/4. That gets all 4 of your cardstock file folders, is what we're going to call it, scored. So now we can make the pockets to go on each end. All right, I'm going to take my first file folder out. I'm going to show you how I come up with these measurements. This complete pocket right here is, if I go from the end of the pocket to the end of the pocket, it's 4 1/2. So I know that I need to cut a piece. I know that I need to cut a piece of paper that is 5 inches by 7 1/4. Let's just go ahead and cut it at 7 1/4. Hold that piece over there, and then we're going to cut this at 5. Okay, this is cut at 5 by 7 1/4, and what we want to do, grab our scoreboard. We're going to lay it up in on the 5-inch side, and you're going to score at 1/2 inch. Then you're going to score at 3 inches. So 1/2 inch is going to be your fold line. That's going to be where you fold it back. So you're not even counting that for your pocket. This is your total overall pocket right here. And this is 4 1/2 by 7 1/4. And then you have a pocket that's scored at 2 1/2. So we're going to lay it on here and see if this is going to look the same as that pocket. Go ahead and make our fold here. There we go. That is the same exact pocket. So again, that is 5 inches by 7 1/4. You're going to score at 1/2 and at 3. Then this is the part that you're going to glue. So what I do on that part is I go ahead and I just kind of snip these edges at a little bit of an angle, like that. And then you'll put your glue right here and you're going to glue that down. So let's go ahead and do that. Now I'm going to glue mine on the outside. Okay, I'm going to glue mine to this cardstock on the outside. You can glue it on the inside if you want, whichever way you want to do it, it doesn't matter, as long as you glue it up to that score line. But I'm just going to glue it on the outside because I'm going to have paper out here anyway, and it's not going to matter. So on this end right here, your short end, is where you need to glue your pocket. So let's go ahead and put some art glitter glue on here. Whoops, I put art glitter glue on the wrong side. Oh well, I'm just going to fold it. This is how we do when we put it on the wrong side. We're just going to fold it this way, and we're going to glue it down. And then I'll just make my folds the other way. I tell you, this is a whole lot harder to explain than it is to do. It is easier to do than it is to explain. I didn't realize that this one was going to prove to be so hard to explain. But I'm hoping that this video is going to help in the explanation. And like I said, I will put pictures on there and as much visual as I can. And if I made any mistakes in those first measurements, I will make sure I correct all that, and I do apologize if I did. But there again, like I said, don't throw anything away. Go ahead and use what you have. You can use it. All right, I'm just folding mine the opposite way since I put my glue on backwards. So there's that one right there. And see, I can put paper over that and none of that's going to show. So that's our number 1. Okay, we're going to lay that aside and lay our number 1 here aside. And now we're going to go to our second one and see how big we need to do our pocket. Alright, this is our number 2. So all I'm going to measure is the pocket. That's all we're doing right now is the pockets. This is at 4 inches, so I know I want to make it 4.5 because I need that 1/2 inch to make my score line and to glue with. So I know I want to cut it at 4.5 by 7.25. So let's grab a piece. Let's see, this piece is already, it's already 7.25. So all we need to do is cut this down to 4.5. Alright, so there is our 4.5 by 7.25. Now on the 4.5 inch side, you're going to put it in your scoreboard and you're going to score at 1/2 inch. And then I'm going to take my scissors, and on this end right here, I'm just going to snip off the little corners so that it glues down better and I don't have anything sticking out. There we go. And then we're going to grab our number 2 folder right here. And then on this end, the short end, we're going to glue this down just like that. Right there. So this time I'll try to put the glue on the right side. Have you ever run up on that project that you know how to make it and you can make it, but it's hard to explain? That's this one. This is not a hard project, but it's hard for me to explain it to you for some reason, and I don't know why. I don't know if I just got some kind of mental block on this one or what. Alright, so that's the pocket on there, and let's see if our number 2 looks the same. I like to always pull my file folders back out and check them along with my cardstock, and it is. See? It's the same. Now on this end, where that little line is where we need to glue this pocket. So on this pocket, we really don't need to do anything except have a strip that is 1 inch by 7.25, because we're going to use this little flap to glue that piece down. See, we'll just glue that piece down like that. Since we've got a little bit extra here, we're just going to use this flap to glue that down. And that will be much clearer when I get ready to glue, I promise. Alright, go ahead and cut your little edges like this. And the best thing to do when I find a video like this that, to me, I just can't quite get it into my head, or it's a little bit confusing how they're explaining, is I just kind of grab my scrap paper and I do some scrap paper along with them. I just do a little, I don't get my good paper, I just grab the scraps and I just kind of work along with them, and that helps me to understand what they're doing and kind of keeps my head straight, because I learn more by doing than I do by seeing. So, and if you are like that, then you may be able to, then it may help you just to go ahead and do while I'm doing. All right, now what we're going to do is start a little pocket. So we want to lay that little pocket right there, right up against that, and then we're going to fold that over and glue it down. And I'm going to fold mine this way. Again, you could fold this down and put this on top if you want to. We can glue it that way too. It doesn't matter. Let's just go ahead and glue it that way, because some people, it's probably going to want to fold one way and some people fold the other. So we'll just do both of them. We'll do this one this way. And you just need to make sure that you get the ends straight. Make sure that everything's coming out as straight as possible. And then there is your little 1-inch pocket on that end. You see, I've got you've got your fold on the inside under the pocket, which is fine. This looks like one continuous piece. Okay. So then we'll lay it on this one and we'll see what we've got. Perfectly matched up. Maybe a fraction of an inch off, but that does not matter. All right, so let's put that one aside. Now we're going on to number 3. And this is number 3. So what we need here is a 3.5-inch pocket. So we know we need to cut it at 4 by 7 1/4, because we need a 3.5-inch pocket. So we need to cut it 4 by 7 1/4. And then on this end, we'll go ahead and mark this one too. On this end, we need 1 3/4. We need to add a 1/2 inch, so we need to cut it at 2 1/4 by 7 1/4. Okay. All right, here's a piece right here. Looks like it might work. So let's go ahead and cut our first piece. No, this is not wide enough. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut my little pocket 2 1/4. Okay, that's got my little pocket 7 1/4. And then we'll cut our big one, which is 4 by 7 1/4. Okay, so there are both of our pockets. This is 4 by 7 1/4, and this is 2 1/4 by 7 1/4. That's our right-hand side pocket. On this one, we need to score on the 4-inch side at 1/2 inch. I'm going to go ahead and clip off the edges right here, just like that. And we'll fold that over. And then on this one, on the 2 1/4 inch side, we need to score at 1/2 inch. Go ahead and clip these little edges off. Fold that one up. So there we go. We've got both of those pockets. Now let's grab our number 3. That's number 3. So on this end, we need to glue it just like that. Or you can glue it on the inside if you don't want this to show anywhere. But I plan on covering all of it with paper, so it's not going to matter. But I'll just glue this one on the inside. Just make sure that you meet you match your edges up. I don't know why it's harder for me to glue this way than it is the other way for some reason. There we go. Got that glued on. So then we have a 3.5 inch pocket right there. Now on this end, I wouldn't have had to made this other 1/2 inch had I remembered that I had this little piece on here. So you can do one of two things. If you've already cut yours this size like I did mine, you can just go ahead and glue it anyway, glue it on top of that. So I'm going to go ahead and trim this part right here off because I'm afraid that would hinder anything that I tried to put on the inside of my pocket. So I'm just going to go ahead and trim that off since I've already got my 1/2 inch here to attach by. Well, I should use my trimmer. I'm going awful crooked. And then we're going to glue that down right there. Man, I couldn't cut straight. So I'm going to try to put this on here straight even though I cut crooked as a dog's hind leg. That was terrible cutting. Let's see if I got that anywhere near straight. Okay, so we got that one. There we go, and we're going to take our number 3 and we're going to lay it on the inside of that and see if we come up with the right size, and we did. Okay, so we're going to lay that one over. Now we've just got our last one, and on this one we need a 2 7/8 inch pocket. So if we add a 1/2 inch on there, we need to cut at 3 3/8. So 3 3/8 by 7 1/4. That's going to be what we need to cut our piece of paper for our pocket. I'm just going to double check myself. Yes, okay. Then on this end, we need to cut, let's see, we have that on there. So I'm just going to cut this one exact size since we have a piece on there that we can glue by. So this one we just need to cut it at 2 1/4 by 7 1/4. All right, let's cut those pieces. So 2 1/4 right there. I want to still see if I've got sound. It looks like I do. 7 1/4. Oh, and while I'm cutting these, I want to say a little bit of something right here. I got a really ugly comment about the ads that play on my videos. Now, as I've explained to you guys before, the ads that are on my videos, that's how I make a little bit of money to buy more product to be able to bring you more videos. That is not, I don't make a killing off of it. It's every time you see an ad, I might make a couple of cents, or every time you click on an ad, I might make 25 cents. So it's not a lot of money. But also, if you see an ad pop up in the middle of my videos, that's not me doing that. That's YouTube. YouTube, when we monetize and agree to the monetization with YouTube, they go in, when our videos start having a lot of views, they go in and insert ads randomly. We don't have control over that. That's something that YouTube does. This girl said that she was trying to watch one of my videos, and in the first few minutes of the video there was like 5 ads or something like that. I don't have control over that. I have control over whether I monetize or not, and whether I put an ad at the first of the video. That's all I have control over. YouTube does the rest. If I demonetize my videos, I make 0 money, and then I can't keep bringing you these videos and using my product. So I have to have that monetization. I apologize if the ads are irritating. I watch a lot of people's videos and they have ads pop up in the middle, and it doesn't bother me because I know that's helping them out. I just, either I don't watch the ad or I just do something else while the ad's playing. Usually they're not but like a few seconds. So it's not like you're having to sit there and watch an hour ad or something. They're just a few seconds long and then it's over with. And a lot of them you can skip anyway. But I just wanted to throw that in there. This is not something that, I choose to do to make you see ads all the way through my videos. Like I said, YouTube has control of that and they insert them where they want to. So, unless I know how to change that, that's the way it will be. And I apologize if that's irritating somebody, but that's just the way it is. That's how I have to make a little bit of money. So this one is 4 3/8. Okay, 1, 2, 3/8 by 7 1/4. So if you don't want to watch my videos with ads in there, then there's plenty of other people you can watch. Just move on. Because I won't demonetize my videos. I bring them to you for free, so I figure the least that you can do is watch a little bitty ad to help me out a little. If you feel like that's too much, then you just need to move on to another channel. Alright, this one is, we just need to score, this is 4 3/8 by 7 1/4, and we need to score it at 1/2 inch. This is 2 1/4 by 7 1/4, and we need to score, no, we don't need to score this one. No score. Okay, then we don't need to score this other one. Alright, we're going to bring this in. Fold this over. Of course, I blocked the person that put that ugly comment on there where they can't see my channel anymore. That's how they want to act. I could charge for my videos, but I don't, and I don't intend to. Alright, I'm just going to leave that on there, and that's how I'm going to glue this one on. If I glue it down nice and tight, it's not going to hinder anything that goes in that pocket. And then we are going to glue this one on this end. And I'm going to glue this one on the outside. To me, I don't know, it's easier for me to glue them on the outside than it is the inside. Okay, there we go. And then on this one, we're just going to glue that down just like that. And I'm going to make sure that I put lots of glue. Well, first off, I'm going to cut these edges. That makes it a little bit easier for me. Makes the pocket lay down a little bit better too, I think. Then I'm going to make sure that I put lots of glue on all the edges so that this piece will glue down well. Keeps sliding on me. Come here. Alright. Put that down right there and then fold that over. Okay. So there we go. There is our number 4. And let's grab number 4 and see if that works. And it does. And you see there's a little bit of difference here, but that's not a biggie. It's still going to work. It's still going to work out. It's just the way that we have to score on the cardstock. Okay? Alright, so let's put these together, the cardstock ones together, and see what we have. Just going to go ahead and pull them out of here. Alright, I know that's my back one. And then the one that has the little 1 inch, that one right there, I know that one goes in next. And then the one that has the 1 3/4, that one goes in next. And we numbered them so you can look at your numbers, but I'm just kind of going by the folds. And that one goes in next. So There we go. And then right here, I would score that 1/2 inch and fold it up a little bit to make that look a little bit better and make this end a little bit stronger. But there's the cascading with the cardstock. Okay. All right, guys, I hope this made our cascading file folder a little bit simpler for you to understand. I do apologize if I got any of those measurements wrong on my blog. I will definitely go back and change all of those. But like I said, if you've already cut something, or if you have already cut your file folders and scored them at one place, don't throw them away. Use them. You can see on this one, I think I've scored 3 or 4 different places there. So just use them. It will be fine, I promise. Once you put it together and put your paper on there, you're not going to know the difference. Because on this one, to look at it, you wouldn't think that I had scored about 15 different times on there in different places, but I did. But you can't tell it once I got all of my paper and everything on here. You cannot tell the difference. Okay. All right. We will talk to you guys later. Thank you so much for watching. We will have another tutorial for you tomorrow, and we're going back to our suggested videos. And I don't know where my paper is right now. It's buried over there somewhere. But I will grab the paper back out and pull up a suggested video, and we will work on those for tomorrow. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Hope this helped. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below, and I will try my best to answer them. We will talk to you guys later. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate all you guys who support me each and every day and watch my videos. I really, really appreciate that. You will never know how much. I also want to put in right here that I appreciate all of you who click on my link, my affiliate links, and go over and purchase things through my affiliate links. That helps me out too. I make just a few cents off of things that you purchase. It doesn't cost you anything, but it just helps me out just a little bit by a few dollars here and there, and I really appreciate it. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.